Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 7 of Elevator Pitch. My name is Joe Ennis, and today I am talking to Wayne Dixon. Wayne is an entrepreneur and now an author. Wayne just wrote a book recently on tips for entrepreneurs and people that want to get out of their 9 to 5 and really start building generational wealth for themselves and their family. I really enjoyed this interview, and I think Wayne had a lot of interesting things to say, especially when it comes to people's fear over starting and getting out of their normal routine. So I think the episode went really, really well. Please like and subscribe. Thank you guys again for all of the awesome support you've been showing. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below and ask. I would love to reach out and hear from some of you. So thanks again. Enjoy the episode with Wayne. Have a great day. Hey everybody, welcome back to Elevator Pitch. My name is Joe Ennis, and today I have a super cool episode for you. I am joined by Wayne Dixon, and Wayne just wrote a book, and he's here to kind of talk about the book and things about it. Wayne, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So, Wayne, would you mind explaining to people a little bit about the book and its purpose?
Okay, sure. Well, the name of the book is called Blueprint of Success, and the reason behind it is it provides like a blueprint. Again, hence the title, but it also gives you people like a platform on strategies, success stories, and systems to help them to achieve their individual success.
Cool.
So that was the premise of the book, and I hope everyone enjoys it.
That's awesome. So Wayne, what do you think sets this? There's a lot of books out there that say that they're the blueprint of something. They tell you what to do, obviously, and you know that.
Yes.
What sets
Definitely.
the blueprint of success apart as a book? Maybe it's because of your experience. Maybe it's just because of the content. Right. What would you say sets your book apart from other books that would claim that they're the blueprint?
All right. Well, yeah, I would definitely say it definitely stems from personal experience. Growing up, I grew up in a pretty, I would say, like lower middle class family, and a lot of information wasn't presented to me in regards to achieving success. It was mainly just a standard of going to college and hopefully you land a halfway decent job, and you work in a job for like say 20, 30 years, and you can retire from it and everything should be hunky dory. But what I found is trying to follow that model, it's been very difficult. Now, I definitely, did, go to college and things of that nature, but it wasn't as easy as it was explained to me growing up. And I just felt, to be honest with you, I felt that I have not hit, I have a lot of opportunities that I personally missed and that presented, came my way. And, and be honest with you, it wasn't fulfilling to me. Like I've always grew up and I was blessed to have like an entrepreneurial type of bug, if you will.
Yeah.
But I never actually got the opportunity or the information to pursue that. So I had to do a lot of, self-evaluation. I've actually did a lot of research and guess my own individual homework to uncover what I actually need to do personally to develop the skill set to be a successful entrepreneur, and just seeing, putting these systems in place, how I can actually show, my family, my kids, anyone else who's seeking those same opportunities. Hey, if you follow this type of system, this blueprint, and you can obtain the same type of success I have, or even beyond that. So I just felt like success is really, to me, stems from a mindset that we have to develop, and that is not something that we're born with. I learned that the hard way, and personal challenges I had to overcome. But I felt like if people were to, take a look at this and they would see a lot of themselves in the book, I would definitely say a lot of mistakes that they probably made, or if they're in the younger generation, to mistakes that they can avoid
Hmm.
to help to achieve that success at an earlier age than I
That's
have.
cool.
So that
Yeah,
was one
that's
of the
great.
motivations behind it. Yeah,
That's great. I mean, any books that stem off experience are always super cool and really
definitely.
beneficial. Um, and so, Wayne, who would you say that the main audience for this book is? Would you say that it's younger professionals? Would you say that it's
Mhm.
a specific type of group that maybe like you grew up in a lower middle class, or would you say that this book is honestly beneficial to anyone, like you were saying, maybe that feels like they hadn't been satisfied in their career or their
Mhm.
entrepreneurship journey? What would you say?
Yeah, I would definitely say it is for all of the above, but I would say the main aim or the main market is, I guess, individuals who grew up like me. Like, you may have grew up in either, of course, in a single family household, or mom and dad are there, but you still are no one's. It's no one's giving you that in depth information. Like, say for instance, like, I remember one situation. After I graduated from college, still lost, still unsure about what I wanted to do, or whatever. So I actually went to my father and was asking him for his advice. And one of the things he told me was like, well, there's a gas station that's open right down the street. Why don't you go ahead and apply and see what happens? And I'm thinking, like, man, this spent several years in college. I mean, this is not something that I want to
Yeah.
do, is go work at the gas station. But instead of getting upset, I actually looked at it from his perspective. I'm like, okay, my father, for instance, never went to college. He never, had a successful business. So why would I seek advice from him
Hmm.
to help direct me into that realm? So, that's one of the things that, just being in, and growing up in my family, growing up in my area, that information wasn't presented to me. And of course, it's, you're not going to gain this information in school either. So it's very, I guess now it's more opportunities to gather information, but instead of just searching all over the internet and trying to go here or there, it's like, hey, let's present this information in a book. It's easy to follow, easy to read. It's only about 104 pages, so it's not too bulky for people, but it definitely has a lot of information to help you get started, to help you to get to gain that confidence. Because I feel like what sets people back, and I talk about it a lot in the book, is fear. A lot of people want to be successful. A lot of people want to obtain that what they call American dream, if you will, but they can get stuck. It's like there's a lot of challenges, a lot of resentment from friends, family. And I'll be honest with you, like, this book I actually wrote about 10 years ago, believe it or not, and actually sat on the shelf for about 10 years due to that fear, that unsurety. Because nobody in my family has ever wrote a book. Nobody in my family has ever had a successful business. So I felt like, man, who am I to come in and give my 2 cents?
Hmm.
And who's going to listen to me? Like, I don't have, like you said, I don't have that family. No one in my family. I don't have that long history, a track record, if you will. But this is information that I've observed, and the field of study that I worked in right out of college. I've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs, so I was able to see things that actually worked, and strategies that they've used, and the mindset that they have. And I'm like, wow, this is what it takes. It's more to it than just having the will. You got to have the skill with it as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
definitely,
awesome. I mean,
yeah.
I'm telling you what, we're with you. I've had those same thoughts about a lot of things that I do. Obviously, I'm a pretty
Mm-hmm.
social guy, and
Definitely.
I've done a lot of entertainment stuff similar to this, and
Mm-hmm.
so I understand where
Yep.
you're coming from. That
Yep.
fear is definitely lingering a lot.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sure I'm sure a lot of people are going to support you. I think this is going to be a super cool book.
Yep.
Wayne,
Yeah. Definitely.
is there any moments that you can recall that, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe that one was one of the big ones that you just brought up with your father in the gas station? Um, are there any
Mm-hmm.
moments that you could recall that really set you on a different path? Maybe it is like why you decided to come back to this book 10 years later. What
Hmm.
what drove you to do that, or what was the moment, if you can recall, maybe it was a few moments where you were like, "That I got to change something."
Well, I would definitely say right now that you got to look at what's been going on this year, right? It's been a
Crazy year.
unprecedented going on right now. Yes, and you see that I know that a lot of individuals that I've seen and work with or whatever, that the rug has literally been swept, swept away from them. And jobs they've worked at for 10, 15 years, they just it's gone in an instant. And to me, it's like, wow, their destiny is not in their hands. Like someone else is deciding if they're going to be employed or not. They're going to be able to feed their families or not.
Mm,
And that to me is like, wow, that's that's something that I no longer want to place. I want to be the director of my life, the director of my future. So that was sort of, I guess, the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will. I'm like, I gotta get this information out. I got to pursue my dreams and make it easier for my kids to come out here so they don't have to struggle and do the exact same things financially hardships I've gone through or what have you. It's just I want to be able to set them on a trajectory so they can be successful and start that generational wealth. To me, that's very important, especially in my community being African American. That's something that I feel like we have lacked, not due to again to the will. Like I think a lot of people who want to be successful and have that ambition, but again, where are they going to go to? Like that really hits home. It's like, man, they have no one to pick up the phone to give them that advice, or of course, there's a lot of information out here. I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. I've learned a lot from just watching that and observing that
yeah.
show. But again, is this people need this information? They need this encouragement too. I think that's a big thing. Again, growing up, I've never been encouraged to pursue my dreams. It was never like, okay, yeah, you want to do that? You want to be an entrepreneur? Yeah, go ahead. You're capable. You can do it. Just having something simple as having permission. Like somebody saying, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You have the drive. You have the ambition. It's okay. You can go ahead and make something better out of your life. Like something as simple as that I think can help propel a lot of people. So yeah, those are a lot of moments that I remember growing up. But again, just seeing the situation now I feel like it's a lot of uncertainty. Ultimately, of course, we're in the greatest country in the world, so I know things will turn around. But a lot of people that's been hit hard, and
Yeah.
I think right now, like last I checked, unemployment rates, it's
Yeah. It's
mind-boggling.
yeah.
Anywhere for like 10, 20 million people unemployed, something in that ballpark. That's like, hey, you can either look at it and like, wow, yeah, I did lose my job, blah blah blah, but look at it as opportunity. This may be
Right.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, hey, get to pursue your passion and pursue your dream. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things that did it for me.
Yeah, that's really cool. And, kind of to back that, that's kind of a
Mhm.
theme that I've been seeing, as I've been doing this podcast. Obviously, I started it during this whole COVID thing. But a lot of
Right.
people are saying the same thing. I just had a guy on named Forrest Tuff. His episode will be
Hmm.
out by the time this one is up. His name's
Hmm.
Forrest Tuff, and he was talking about he has a production company called One Vision Productions, and he
Wow.
was just
Okay.
talking. He was talking about the same thing where he was like, we just a lot of people saw this as just a big bummer that the world is
Yep.
changing
Yep.
and people couldn't go to work, but we tried to
Yeah.
find the opportunity and take advantage of the
Exactly.
change and adapt. And so I think you're doing the same thing, and that's super super cool. I'm all about
Yes.
those
Yes.
types of people and that drive. So Wayne, a few more questions. This has been super cool. What
Sure.
would you say to maybe young people that are growing up in a
Hmm.
situation like you that want to start, but feel like
Hmm.
maybe where you felt, where they felt like they still had maybe a bit of fear in them that, their family
Hmm.
hasn't necessarily done anything like this before. They
Right.
haven't started that generational wealth, or they just don't know where to
Hmm.
start in general. Maybe they don't have fear
Right.
and they just don't know where to start. What would you tell those people? First step, what should you do to get on
Hmm.
that path?
Well, and that's a good question. I would definitely say really take a hard look. I think a lot of times when people think of success, right, the first thing that comes to mind is money, right? So they're trying to think of an idea or something that's going to make them a lot of money. And again, from just past experience, that's that's a great start, but it fizzles out very quickly. So you really want to pursue something that is becomes it's natural to you. Like you can literally wake up and do it, and it's the easiest thing that comes to you. And that's actually the first chapter in the book is uncover your true passion. So really take a deep dive, what you call it, like an inventory of yourself. Like what actually excites me?
Hmm.
That it can be something as simple as cooking, gardening, anything
Podcasts for
nowadays.
me.
Yeah, podcast exactly. Because you got to think, growing up, we didn't have this. It was
Yeah.
okay if you wanted to become like a radio personality, if you will. You had to get your own radio show,
Right.
which was very difficult to do. But
Yeah.
now it's like, wow, okay, I want to do this. I feel like I got a voice. I want to give information. Oh, wow, I can start a podcast. So now even myself, like I always wanted to be an author. I always wanted to write books, but like, hey, I'm no James Patterson or any other big time authors out here, but it's opportunities to self-publish. Like that's what I did with this first book, and started my own publishing company. So it's opportunities now are endless, and so really now it's no excuse, I would say, any longer. You really look. It's so many businesses you can start literally for a couple $100. So now that fear should be, in my opinion, can be eliminated or won't prevent you from pursuing that goal. It's like really just once you take that inventory and decide what you want to do, it's like, okay, now go into the self-educating.
Yeah.
Learn as much as you can about that industry. Shadow someone if you can. But if not, then you can do a lot of the self-inventory yourself and research, and the information is out there. And the next step is like, hey, you got to do the action.
Yep.
And you do that, you like I said, if you want to be an author, okay, just jot down some ideas. Like you can use bullet points, right? So like when my book has like nine chapters, so it's like 9 topics. So I started from there. So like just like, okay, uncover your true passion. I'm like, what does that really mean? And I dove into it, researched, read some other successful motivational books, and just put it into my own perspective what that actually means, and just start writing. And for me, it was just like, okay, I never wrote a book before, so how would that actually look, or how would that come across? And I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to just have a conversation. And that's actually what got me through writing the book, is just I'm just having a conversation with my readers.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and it just started flowing out, right? And so it's once I started, it was less intimidating as I put it on my mind to be.
Sure.
So, and I believe that's how it is with anything
Yeah.
that you do. So it's going to be scary, especially if you look at it from a broad perspective. But again, just once you do the research, decide what you want to do the research, and you start doing a little bit, towards it every day, then eventually you will achieve it.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, thank you so much for being here today, man.
Thank you.
Please,
Appreciate it.
please plug away. Let everyone know how they can get in touch with you, where they can
Mhm.
find the book.
Mhm.
All of those things. Just
Yep.
go at it.
Okay.
And
Sure.
obviously everything will be in the show notes below, as well.
All right.
So please plug away.
So thank you. I appreciate it. So as of right now, the book is going to be launched on Amazon starting right around November 1st. But right now, if you want to get in touch with me, you can just reach me at as why I can give my website. Excuse me, my email is wymak11 at gmail.com. Website to also be up and around the beginning of November. That's going to be www.blueprintofsuccess.com. And phone number, also always reach me at 240-805-8462. But definitely, I'm very excited about it. This is going to be a series, so I'm going to have other books coming out very shortly, various topics as well. Also, too, I love stories, so I'm going to have some fictional books as well.
Cool.
but again, they're going to have good content behind it, so something can, you should be able to pull something from all of them. So I'm very excited about it. I feel like this is a big hump. It took me 10 years to go over it, but I finally took care of it. So
That's awesome.
I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about it.
That's awesome. And listeners, again, all the links that Wayne mentioned will be in the show notes. Once this comes out, we will definitely update this as well. So if you're listening to this after November 1st, check in and see if those links are there. And remember, like Wayne's saying, do the research, figure out what you want to do first, but then it comes down to actually doing it and starting. Wayne repeated that many times. You got to start. You got to do it. It's going to be scary at first, but the more you do it, the easier it's going to be. And I've been in the same exact spot. I can say the exact same thing, and I agree with 100% what he's saying. Wayne, thank you again so much for being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Elevator Pitch. If you like the episode and you're an audio listener, please subscribe to the show. If you are on YouTube, click this button above my head to subscribe here. Over here, there's a newest episode, and right here, there's a recommended for you episode. Thanks again for listening.